What up, my fellow Knicks fans? This is your guy Marcellus Ease. Don't panic quite yet. Now, it's not looking too good for Frank Ntilikina on the Knicks roster going forward. Unfortunately, it's been an up and down season. He's only played about 43 games, and in that 43 games, he hasn't shown us anything that we can say, okay, this is his peak potential. And also, he hasn't really shown us anything to say he's improved. Our other rookies like Mitchell Robinson and Kevin Knox, they've had games where they've shown us like, okay, this is what they can do. Knox had games where for like a whole month where he was dropping more than 25 points a game. He was doing his thing on the boards. He was attacking the rim. He showed you his potential. Same thing for Mitchell Robinson at the end of the season when he started getting a better understanding of the NBA game. His footing was a lot better. He didn't get into foul trouble as much. He was grabbing about 17 boards. He had games where he went off, scoring a bunch of points at high percentages, getting rebounds. You saw the maturation within his game from month to month. Now, Frank Ntilikina's game has taken a step back. He has struggled in preseason to beat out Trey Burke and Emmanuel Mudiay, which years prior, these two players were struggling to even keep their footing to stay within the league. And the whole season, the situation at point guard, it wasn't really a crowded situation as they made it seem, because Mudiay was struggling, Trey Burke was struggling, and unfortunately Frank was actually struggling worse than both of them. Now for the 2018-19 season, Frank, you could even look at the numbers in the 43 games. He's actually regressed. His three-point shooting percentage is actually lower. His field goal percentage is actually lower. As you can see in 2017-18 season, he shot about 36% field goal range, which isn't good at all. And then this season, he's shooting about 33%, which is actually worse. And then we see the same thing for the three-point shooting percentage. His percentages for three-pointers actually has gone way down. He's at 28%, which is not good at all. And last season, he was shooting about 31%. Now, this season, the difference from last season is that Frank has taken a lot more three-pointers. So he's actually attacking the rim a lot less. His attempts is way up from last season. Now, it's back-to-back years in a row where the Knicks have made moves to acquire point guards. Last season, they traded for Trey Burke. And then this season, they also traded for Dennis Smith Jr. And it's very unfortunate for Frank. He's not a bad player. Is that, he was drafted for a different system by a different GM. And then things were changed midway through that summer of his rookie year. And now the Knicks went with a different system and a completely, different style of play, which Frank probably doesn't fit in. A team like San Antonio that's already running a system in which he could flow within the offense, because he's great at making passes in transition, maybe off a turnover or off of someone giving him a good pass. He can make that extra initial good pass. Like he's a system player. For the way the Knicks want to play, there's a lot of, they need a point guard that can break down the offense and then, dish out for assists or create opportunities for other players, which Frank isn't that player. Now, also with Scott Perry and Dave Fizdale, they were shopping him around before the trade deadline. There were rumors that they were shopping him around to Phoenix and also to the Orlando Magic. And it's very unfortunate, his groin situation, it happened during that time. It got even worse because when they traded for Dennis Smith Jr., it actually took the load off of Frank to be, more offensive minded at point guard. He could actually focus on defense. They can probably get more transition buckets off of turnovers. We didn't really get to see if there was any potential with Dennis Smith Jr. and Frank Ntilikina actually both playing alongside each other. But for sure, like I said, back-to-back seasons, the Knicks are making moves to acquire other guards. This season, the point guard situation, it wasn't as crowded. There was a lot of opportunity for Frank to, even show what he has. He could even take more shots. It's just a lot of games he was only taking about 5 to 7 shots, shooting, below 30% from field goal range, even shooting a worse percentage from three-point range, which isn't good at all. It's not a lot of hard data to say, okay, Frank got better here and there, for when, the GM and the president or the coach is just looking at, overall what they did for the season to keep them on the roster going forward. So right now, we don't know what's going to happen with Frank's future going forward. It kind of looks a little shaky. It's very unfortunate. The fans do like him. A lot of us do like Frank, especially that he's defensive minded. And right now, he's on a rookie deal, which to have a good defensive minded player is pretty good. A cheap rookie contract, Frank does, I believe, have an option on the 2021 season. But, you know, he has a good contract for, you know, another team to perhaps pick up on Frank for cheap. You guys let me know what you think. It's just very disappointing not to see the combination of Dennis Smith Jr. and Frank Ntilikina on the court at the same time. It perhaps could have been a bit more magic had they gotten time to have that chemistry. But you guys stay safe. Let me know what you think. Peace.